Привет! Welcome, dear Russian learners. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about Russian genders. What are they and why is it so important to know them? Are you ready? Поехали! All nouns in the Russian language can be divided into two big groups. The first one is animated nouns. Animated nouns are people and animals, someone who can run, jump, breathe, eat. The second big group is inanimated nouns. Inanimated nouns are different things that surround us and also places. So in English, only animated nouns can have genders. For example, a man is masculine and a woman is feminine. Makes sense, right? Inanimated nouns in English don't have any genders. And it also makes perfect sense because a phone, for example, yeah, it is an inanimated noun, and can it have a gender? Can it be masculine or feminine? Probably not. However, things change when we start talking about Russian, because in the Russian language, even if we are talking about inanimate noun, it also has a gender. In other words, in Russian, all nouns can have a gender. It's not something unique. Some other languages also have genders, for example, Spanish, Italian, French. What makes Russian a little bit different from them is that in Russian we have three genders, which is masculine, feminine, and neutral. So today we will talk about the difference between these genders, and how we can recognize one from another. Some people might say, Russian sounds so strong and brutal, probably most of the words are masculine. No, it's a mistake. 43% of all Russian nouns are feminine. 40.5 words are masculine and just 16.5 words are neutral. So today we will start with masculine, alright? How do I know that the word is masculine? No matter what gender we are talking about, please pay attention to the ending of the word. If the word has no ending at all, and how do we know that the word has no ending? There is no vowels in the end, There is just no vowel. So if a word doesn't have any endings, then it's masculine. For example, сын, стол, стул, and so on. Also, some masculine words end in a and ya, and it's not very typical, I must say. It's a pretty small group of words. For example, papa, papa is masculine, дядя, дядя is masculine, мужчина. You can notice that these words have something in common. Yes, they end in a or ya, and to be honest, a and ya are typically feminine genders. But although these words end in a and ya, their meanings are typically masculine. Let's think about it. Can a father be a woman? Can an uncle be a woman? That's impossible. That's why, although these words end in a and ya, feminine endings, but their meanings are so typically masculine that we cannot say that they are feminine. But again, it's a pretty small group. Another pretty small group of masculine words have the soft sign in the end. And again, I would say that the soft sign in the end mostly says that it's feminine. I would say that 80% of all words with the soft sign in the end are feminine and just 20 of them are masculine. But anyway, although this group is small, but it's still present, it exists. So such words as отель, день, календарь, медведь, although they end in the soft sign, but they are masculine. Also, please don't forget that we have a group of foreign words. It's a little bit difficult with foreign words because they don't really follow the rules of the Russian language. They came from a foreign language and they still have rules, they still follow the rules of that language where they came from. So, for example, the word coffee. Coffee doesn't really sound like a masculine word, but for some reason it became masculine when it came to Russian. So we need to remember that coffee is masculine. The next gender, and as you remember, most Russian words belong to this gender, is feminine gender. So of course, just like in Spanish, Italian, French, if the word ends in a or ya, most of the time it's feminine. Like работа, машина, книга. Also, a big group of feminine words ends in the soft sign. For example, ночь, дочь, мышь. As you remember, some words that end in the soft sign also can be masculine, but I would say that it's not that common. The soft sign is a typically feminine ending. And of course, we have a foreign group of words. Yeah, but again, things are not that simple with them. For example, the word madame. Madame doesn't have an ending, so if it followed rules of the Russian language, it would be probably masculine, right? But madame means a woman, that's why it's feminine. The smallest group of words are neutral words, just 16.5%, can you imagine? So what are they? What endings do they have? Neutral words have two very typical endings. The first of them is o, яблоко, кресло. You can notice that when I pronounce this word, the ending o sounds more like a, and I understand that it can be a little bit confusing, especially for people who just started learning Russian, but it doesn't affect the spelling. We spell it with the letter o. Яблоко, кресло, зеркало, and so on. The second typical ending is ye, море, поле, and so on. And also there is a very small group of words that end in ya. Please remember them. Имя, name, время, time. There are some others, but they are not so important. And of course, foreign words. What can we do without them? The first word is машина. Машина. Please tell me which gender it is. Is it masculine, feminine, or neutral? Машина ends in the letter A, and A is a typical ending of feminine gender. So машина is feminine. Она – машина. Yeah, don't be surprised. When we talk about genders, we also should not forget about the pronouns. Pronouns он, она, оно belong to masculine. If we talk about он, она belongs to feminine, and оно belongs to neutral. So машина is not a woman, but I still use the word она, she, when I talk about it, because машина is a feminine gender. Ready for the next example? What about кот? Кот. Which gender is it? Кот doesn't have any ending at all, and most of the time these words are masculine. That's right. How about the word время? Время. Время ends in the letter я, and most of the time я means that the word is feminine. But we remember that neutral gender also has a very small group of words that end in я. Имя and время. Время is one of them. So время is neutral, and we will say оно. Оно время. The next word is стол. What gender is it? Стол. And again, the word стол doesn't have any ending. That's why it's masculine. How about the word отель? Отель. 80% of all words that end in the soft sign are feminine. But there is a small group of words, up to 20%, that although they end in the soft sign, but they are masculine, and отель is one of them. So отель is masculine, он отель. The next word is кафе. Кафе. What gender is it? Кафе ends in the letter ye, and ye is a very typical ending of the neutral gender. So кафе is neutral, оно кафе. And how about the word кофе? They are so similar, кафе and кофе. Are they the same gender? It's a very common mistake to say that coffee is оно. And I must say that even native speakers sometimes make this mistake. I think that maybe I have made this mistake a couple of times. But coffee is not neutral. Coffee is masculine. Он кофе. Please don't forget about it. Did you like the video? I hope you did. Don't forget to give me a like and also subscribe for more Russian lessons. If you want to practice genders more, please send me a direct message and we will book an individual Russian lesson. See you next time.